TV News, the university changes the educational pathway for all first-year students.
But first, we tell you the latest details on the Kavanaugh confirmation hearing.
All that and more right now. Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Jordan Hanley.
And I'm Patrick Ramsdale.
A remarkable day on Capitol Hill as the Senate Judiciary Committee reconvened hearings for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Christine Blasey Ford says she is 100% certain drunk Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when they were teenagers. Kavanaugh says he absolutely did not. Emily Schmidt has the details from Washington.
From the same oath to tell the truth, two very different versions of what that truth is.
I believed he was going to rape me. I tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth to stop me from yelling.
Brett Kavanaugh defends himself against charges he calls absolutely false.
I'm here today to tell the truth. I've never sexually assaulted anyone.
I am here today not because I want to be. I am terrified.
I just wanted to let you know I'm very sorry. That's not right.
Arizona sex crimes prosecutor Rachel Mitchell did the questioning on behalf of the all-male Republican committee members. Republicans have questioned the last-minute timing of Ford's revelation. Democratic committee member Dianne Feinstein knew about Ford's story in July. It wasn't made public until a September Washington Post report.
I am an independent person and I am no one's pawn.
Ford says though the alleged event happened more than 3 decades ago, she still gets panicked. She has 2 front doors on her house to ease claustrophobia. She says she doesn't remember all the details, but she does remember this.
Indelible in the hippocampus is the laughter, the uproarious laughter.
This is a circus. The consequences will extend long past my nomination.
With only the 2 of them before the committee, it is his word against hers, with senators soon deciding whose word carries more weight. In Washington, I'm Emily Schmidt.
As of now, a vote is set for tomorrow to determine if Brett Kavanaugh will move forward. After some thought, the university added a required class to the curriculum. Danny Banda has the story.
Shippensburg University now has a course to help college students transition into the college setting. The course, University 101, not only helps students transition, but also welcomes them to the SHIP community. Each class has a peer anchor who assists the professor. The peer anchors are students at the university who have already adjusted to college life and want to help others do the same.
I basically am helping them find the resources that they might not have been introduced to when they came here.
Peer anchors like Zach dedicate more than class time to the students. They will help teach the class, send out message reminders, and hold study hours throughout the week. Many people are questioning why this class is now mandatory in the curriculum.
Shippensburg started this class because our retention rate is really bad. We have a 70% retention rate, and so I felt compelled from my freshman experience to try and better incoming freshmen now.
With this class, the university hopes to increase the retention rate to at least 80% this school year. That shouldn't be hard considering the class isn't like most courses. It's here to help students figure out how to be successful while at SHIP. After sitting in and observing one of the classes, I found myself jealous that I did not have the opportunity to take this class freshman year.
It's like a safe space. It's like there's no really dumb questions. Everything's new to everyone, so nobody knows the answer.
To learn more about University 101, visit SUTVnews.com. SUTV News, Danny Banda.
The honors program has been having a fantastic year so far and have finally reached their goal of being recognized as an honors college. Rachel Smith tells us about the ribbon cutting ceremony happening this weekend.
This is something that we've been working towards for at least the past 10 years or so, making sure that we're increasing the standards of our program and what's expected of our students. And now that we've met all the requirements, we're able to say at a national level that we are an honors college.
The ceremony will be happening this Sunday at 3:30 in front of the Wood Honors College sign by Harley Hall.
Shippensburg is now offering opportunities with the Peace Corps preparation program. Upon completing this program, students will receive a certificate from the Peace Corps and preference in hiring. School will provide students with a student guide, application, and exit checklist. According to Dr. Jonathan Scaff, history professor and director of international studies, having a program like this at a public university is rare. SHIP is one in 5 universities in Pennsylvania to have a partnership with the Peace Corps. Students who apply for the program must meet academic, career, leadership, and work experience requirements. For more information about the Campus Peace Corps program, visit sutvnews.com. There is a new art exhibition for the month of October. Cut features ceramic artwork by Professor Ben Culbertson. Professor Culbertson was on sabbatical last fall at Watershed Center for Ceramic Art, located in Maine. Here, he practiced new firing and surface techniques for his artwork. One main objective he hopes views to take away is how he has been working on these ideas for 30 years.
To show students how I've taken an idea that I started working on 30 years ago, and I'm able to still use it to produce new forms and new surfaces that I didn't know were possible.
The opening reception takes place this Monday in the Kaufman Gallery located in the Huber Art Building at 6:30. All are welcome to attend. Two SU organizations are saving the planet one plastic bottle at a time. AdoptAHighway is an organization sponsored by PennDOT that allows schools and civic groups to pick up trash along a 2-mile road 2 times a year. The Slate, SU's newspaper, adopted Newville Road last year and hopes to keep it for a tradition for the years to come.
We had about 4.5 bags that we picked up this last time, and I think it's really great for people in the community to see us out there doing that, seeing that we're not just a bunch of college students. Like, we do care about the people that live in Shippensburg. We care about people on campus. So I think that connection is going to help us reach more people as a newspaper, as a news organization as a whole. So it has that environmental positive to it, but it also has that that presence, I think, is a good thing.
Kappa Kappa Psi, SHIP's band fraternity, also had their fall cleanup last weekend on Baltimore Road. Avery Strom, the vice president of service, says it gives them opportunity to help the community and not just the marching band. The fraternity has owned the road for over 8 years and collected over 8 bags of trash this past Sunday. For more information on how your group can adopt a highway, visit sutvnews.com.
Fraternities and sororities at SHIP are gaining a new member to the Greek life community. Kyle Miller is officially the new director of fraternity and sorority life at the university. Prior coming to SHIP, Miller worked with other Greek life organizations at Millersville University as the coordinator of fraternity and sorority life and at Swarthmore College as a coordinator for student activities and leadership. While these universities all have Greek life in common, Miller says opportunity is what sets Shippensburg Greek life apart from all the other schools. In 2019, Shippensburg will celebrate 60 years of fraternity and sorority life. For more information about Greek life or to meet Miller in person, visit the Greek life office in Cub 236 or call at 717-477-1848. McDonald's is removing artificial ingredients from its burgers, and even the Big Mac special sauce will get a makeover. The fast food company announced the changes to its 7 classic burgers Wednesday. The burgers will no longer include artificial preservatives, flavors, or coloring. The change affects nearly every part of the sandwich, including the bun, cheese, and sauce. The company is still in a pickle over its pickles, which also contain an artificial preservative. McDonald's continued to try to attract more health-conscious consumers. In 2016, McDonald's eliminated artificial preservatives from its chicken nuggets and ditched high fructose corn syrup in its buns. Earlier this year, the company replaced frozen beef with fresh beef in its quarter pounders and changed up its Happy Meal offerings. Dunkin Donuts is officially changing its name. The Boston-based coffee chain is dropping donuts from its name as its focus shifts to more menu items. The company wants the rebranding to highlight its drink options and takeout foods and not just those sweet, doughy treats. The name change will be featured on everything from storefronts to packaging to social media accounts starting this January.
A Georgia company may be on the brink of solving the problem of plastic trash piling up in landfills. Stephen Croskery at Danimer Scientific is developing a biodegradable material that can be used to make straws. Straws are one of the most common items that end up as trash. The Danimer Scientific version is made with a plastic called PHA. The plastic resin in the material is made with canola oil, making it marine biodegradable. A Danimer Scientific plastic straw is a natural food source for soil bacteria, so it will vanish after just 2 or 3 months in the ground. The product could be available commercially by late next year. He has bright orange hair, no nose, and crazy googly eyes. Skating to center ice, its name is Gritty, the new mascot for the Philadelphia Flyers, and he's terrifying Twitter. Some are calling him Nightmare Fuel, and others suggest he looks like a character from a Stephen King novel. The NHL website made a bio for the furry fellow, calling him talented but feisty, the son of a bully, and loyal but mischievous. Gritty will be at the forefront of the team's community outreach efforts.
When we come back in world news, what would you do with 20 tons of sand?
We'll tell you what some artists are working on. More after the break. A new app could help save lives in Syria.
SUTV's Paige Ahrensmeyer has this week's world news. Paige?
Craters, blown out buildings, and destruction are all apparent side effects of World War II. But what isn't as obvious is the damage created in space. Scientists have now learned shock waves from the air raids also reached the edge of space, damaging Earth's upper atmosphere. The findings come from analysis of daily readings taken between 1933 and 1996 at an English research laboratory. Researchers learned bombing shock waves heated and weakened the upper atmosphere, known as the ionosphere. The impacts would linger for about a day. Melania Trump is taking her first lady duties out of the United States. She's taking her Be Best campaign, which focuses on adolescent well-being, social media use, and opioid abuse, to Africa. This October, she's leaving the president behind while traveling to Ghana, Malawi, Kenya, and Egypt. She announced yesterday that her travels begin October 1st. A new app in Syria alerts civilians of airstrikes. Known as Allah, the app depends on civilians acting as airplane spotters. These spotters use an algorithm that also uses weather patterns and historical attack data to generate rapid warnings about imminent bombings. While Allah cannot stop the bombings, the app gives the people of Syria a heads up to hopefully find cover. And finally, no matter how good you are at building sandcastles, chances are you're no match for the sculptures showing off their skills in Virginia this week. Starting tomorrow, 32 competitors from 11 countries are facing off at the Neptune Festival International Sand Sculpting Competition. Each competitor gets 20 tons of sand to bring their creation to life. But the festivities don't end on Sunday. Sculptures are open for viewing until October 7th. That's all I have for World News this week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Now let's send it over to the Slate's Brianne Shekels for this week's Slate Preview. Brianne?
Coming up next week in the Slate, we will cover Act 5's mini musical performance of 21 Chump Street, as well as the Red Raider football game against Westchester. Other stories include Kamal Bell's lecture and the 4-week Karoo mindfulness course that teaches mind and body management through meditation. Be sure to pick up the next edition of the Slate Tuesday in newsstands around you.
When we come back in entertainment, a Disney princess gets a lighter complexion.
And will this rain ever go away? We find out after the break.
Well, let's hope we don't have to step in any more puddles for next week.
Well, hopefully not. Let's send it over to Marley to find out. Marley?
This next week, we will still be following a trend of constant clouds and humidity. Tonight, the temperature will be 55 with rain, and Friday, we can expect a high of 74 and a low of 54. The morning will have clouds, and the afternoon will have sun. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Saturday, it will be mostly sunny, and we will have a high of 72 and a low of 53. Sunday, we'll have a high of 73 and a low of 53, and it will also be mostly sunny. On Monday, it will be high of 78 and a low of 61, and it will also be mostly sunny. Tuesday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 80 and a low of 63. And finally, on Wednesday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 78 and a low of 64. Hopefully October has some nicer weather planned for us. Back to you guys.
Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper are reaching for the stars. The two celebrities have been busy on collaborating their new movie musical, A Star Is Born. In a recent trailer, Cooper pulls Gaga onto a stage as she belts out her new song, Shallow, now newly available on iTunes. A much anticipated music video was also released today, racking up a ton of views. Cooper directed the film and insisted that every song be recorded live. The buzz is that the film and soundtrack are already worthy of an Oscar and will hit theaters October 5th. Animators for Wreck-It Ralph 2 went back to the drawing board after a change in one princess's appearance received some unexpected criticism. Princess Tiana, who made her first appearance in The Princess and the Frog back in 2008, was the cause of social media uproar when a new trailer showed her sporting a different design with a lighter complexion. Disney responded to fan outrage by giving Tiana a makeover which more closely resembles her original design. The internet premieres in theaters November 21st. A particular SHIP student is making her debut on the big screen. Recent SHIP graduate Hallie Shank landed a role as an extra in the up-and-coming season of House of Cards. Shank began her career as a model and would constantly send out her resume with high hopes of landing a job. She explains that she is no stranger to rejection, but used the setbacks to fuel her determination. Her opportunity finally arose when she received a call from the show's producer. Before she knew it, she was in costume, on set, and meeting the show's iconic characters. Finally, getting into the business, Shank hopes to continue her acting with bigger productions and urges everyone to watch House of Cards Season 6 when it premieres in November. Another SHIP student is taking high school horror to a whole nother level. Maggie Haynes was cast in the professional production of Carrie the Musical. Portraying Chris Hargensen, her character is best known for dumping a bucket of pig's blood on Carrie. Haynes tells that she works alongside actors who receive degrees in theater, but this doesn't intimidate her one bit. She even gets the opportunity to work with her close friend and SHIP alumni, Brad Barkdahl, who plays the character Billy. Performed in a completely burnt-down set, the show will be held at the open stage of Harrisburg this weekend. Coming back to the Shippensburg stage, Act 5 students dug up some unknown works of Lin-Manuel Miranda. Jillian Macon has the story.
Lin-Manuel Miranda is known for his musical works, Hamilton and In the Heights, but what of his lesser-known productions? Thanks to Act 5 Theater Company, Miranda's smaller works have the chance to come to life. Similar to the hit movie 21 Jump Street, this small group of actors will be performing 21 Chump Street.
Yeah, so he did it between In the Heights and Hamilton. Not many people knew about it, but after Hamilton became a huge success, they looked him up, they found it, and now this show has taken off.
Although the show is only 15 minutes, it sends a powerful message about the dangers of marijuana. But of course, adds a little comedy, dance, and hip-hop along the way.
Yo, what is up with this fuss and this isn't up for discussion. This is our cousin coming to us. We love blood and we love it.
When asked how excited he was about the show, lead actor Justin Persichetti was at a loss for words, but did quote the cast's secret slogan.
Hugs, not drugs. What the heck we gotta do to get you to come see this show?
For SUTV Entertainment, I'm Jillian Menken.
Don't miss this chance to see this mini musical in Memorial Auditorium this Friday at 6 and 8 p.m. That's it for entertainment. Let's head back to the desk.
When we come back in sports, we preview the rematch of SHIP versus Westchester football.
And yet another volleyball player wins PSAC Athlete of the Week.
Sophomore Natalie Serwaka was named PSAC Women's Cross Country Athlete of the Week on Tuesday. The award comes after finishing second in the Dickinson Long Short Invitational last week. Serwaka has big goals this weekend at the Paul Short Invitational in Bethlehem.
I definitely want to be very competitive. It's one of my favorite meets, and it's a very fast and competitive meet. I'm definitely expecting to PR from last year.
Serwaka is the first Raider to win the award since current assistant coach Casey Norton won it back in 2016. In volleyball, senior Morgan Defloria was awarded PSAC Central Athlete of the Week for her efforts this past week against Seton Hill in California. That makes it 4 Raiders who have received PSAC Athlete of the Week awards in the first 5 weeks of the volleyball season. Defloria combined for 31 kills and 23 digs in wins against opponents Seton Hill and California. The volleyball team has been on a grind since starting the year 1-2 and now are 14-2 on the season. Defloria believes not looking ahead is the proper blueprint for the team's success.
And I think this year's a lot different than last because we've been making little goals, so it's like this is what we need to do to win this game, and this is how we're going to achieve that, rather than thinking about it as one giant thing like we need to beat this opponent and then this opponent. It's a lot less work when you look at it and more minuscule things.
Volleyball is in action this Friday at Kutztown at 7. The field hockey team looks to bounce back from their loss against East Stroudsburg as they faced Seton Hill Tuesday. Here's Patrick Ramsdale with the highlights.
On a cloudy Tuesday afternoon in Shippensburg, the Raiders prepare to take on the Seton Hill Griffins. 17 minutes into the half, Raiders already up 2-0. Yasmin Petrantonio off a corner moves in with a dazzling set of stick handles, and she'll bury that one in the back of the net. Shippensburg up 3. 1 minute later, the Griffins turn over the ball. The Raiders move in, take a shot, and Megan Green bats the ball out of midair to put the Raiders up 4-0. Now Petrantonio flies into the shooting circle. She'll take a shot, that's saved, but Schulenberger picks up the rebound, spins, and puts that 5-hole to extend the lead to 5. The Raiders are still on the attack as freshman Kayla Williams scores her first goal as a Raider. Shippensburg wasn't done for the half just yet as Petrantonio takes a shot from way outside and Schulenberger deflects that in for her second of the game. The Raiders would shut out the Griffins 11-0. For SUTV Sports, I'm Patrick Ramsdale.
Field hockey will be back in action on Saturday against IUP at home. In football, after starting the season 2-0, Ship has lost the last 2 games to California and Bloomsburg. This week, Ship will be highly contested on the road against a familiar face, Westchester. Last year, the football team's only 2 losses came from the hands of the Golden Rams. In the first game last season, Ship was down early and was playing catch-up the rest of the game. But with the help of graduate Ryan Zapaticki, the Raiders made it close. Zapaticki used his legs and his arm, especially on this throw right here to Winston Eubanks, to set up a score that brought Ship within 3 points of the Golden Rams. However, late in the fourth quarter, Westchester put the game away with this long touchdown run here. Down the sideline, Westchester ended up winning that game 37-27. The 2 teams also met up in the first round of the playoffs, with Westchester winning that game easily 27-6 on our home soil. This weekend, Ship will be on the road at Westchester at 12. SUTV will not be providing coverage of the game this week. However, you can still catch the game on ESPN3 and Campus Channel 21.2. And now, how we always end the sports block, this week's Stat of the Week. This week's Stat of the Week is not just for an individual athlete, but an entire team. The Stat of the Week goes to the women's volleyball team. The women's volleyball team has run off 13 straight wins, which is now the school record. During the streak, the team has had 4 PSAC Central Athlete of the Week and has beaten tough opponents such as Wheeling Jesuit, Clarion, and California. The volleyball team, this week's Stat of the Week. Don't forget, tune in next week to see who receives SUTV's most prestigious award. And remember, if you work like that, you get the stat. Now, that's it for sports. Let's send it back to the desk.
The Maryland Zoo helps even the smallest of animals recover.
Find out how after the break.
A favorite childhood toy is helping an injured turtle get on the road to recovery.
WBAL's Lowell Messler has the story.
This is the story of how a toy helped a turtle. It was a couple of months ago when workers at the Maryland Zoo found this eastern box turtle in a grassy area in great pain, most likely hit by a car.
So he has 7 different pieces that were fractured, so kind of like a puzzle. So he was very severely traumatized.
Veterinarians at the zoo were able to repair the damages to the shell with bone plates and pins, but they still had one big problem.
And then we were trying to find something to keep him off the ground. Since he has the fractures on the bottom of his shell, we didn't want him touching the ground to reduce his pain.
They tried everything, but nothing worked until that favorite childhood toy, Legos, came up in conversation.
So we came up with the idea of wheels, and then from there we thought of attaching Lego wheels to something that we could put above him like a brace, and so that's where the idea of the wheelchair came in.
And the wheelchair design is actually very interesting. You have plumber's putty on the side of it and Legos, we're told, that come from various different sets. As far as the idea is concerned, it came from a vet student here who was doing his externship.
So the student came up with drawings and designs, and she built this wheelchair, and we put it on him, and he's been great ever since.
If all goes well, with continued rehab, he should be released into the wild within a year.
It's been really great to see how well he's responded to it.
An engineering marvel helping this little turtle one step at a time.
And that's it for SUTV News. I'm Jordan Hanley.
And I'm Patrick Ramsdale. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website, sutvnews.com.
See you next week.